Hello and welcome back to Evening Rust. I managed to get started a little bit early this morning, and not this morning, this evening, and hopefully we can do it a bit longer today. And I have this weird title of Catching Bankers today, and we'll be catching bankers because of a ridiculous description in one of the tools we had. Yes, I'm competing, oh no. So the banker title today comes from the competition area, and let me just move my browser over. I lost my cursor. There we go. Yeah, sorry, ion codes. A little bit of competition. So you can switch back and forth. It's both Rust. It's both a bunch of code. We have different. Maybe you can tell by the color combination a bit different, but you know, you should be able to tell by the quality of the code what channel you're on. So the bankers thing is over here in compete. We were playing with this optimization. And we're doing the Great Dispatch, which is not completed. And in the Great Dispatch, there was a job description here, which has, I don't know where it's gone to, but it said one of the advantages of solving this was that we get to do the meet a senior banker. So that's why I'll be making fun of that today as well. Now, Ion Codes is asking, how did you end up implementing the lifetimes? It's referring to a bit of the code, and you know, basically I just didn't. We did it a different way. I can't remember which we changed it. We did it a different way. We're gonna get back to that. I'm gonna do my normal warm-up. Let's go back to the warm-up and do one of the quick coding challenges, or shall we do the code? Not the puzzle of the week. That might be too long. Let's just do one of the quick competitions. Whether we win or lose, it won't take very long. Well, Iron Codes, I don't know if we did it a better way. We're just going to stick with a different way. But if we're learning the Rust way of things, I'm guessing the other way is going to be more common than that. Alright, we got Jasper coding with us today. That's nice. Jasper is the author of this wonderful coding plugin. We don't use it for these Clash games because it takes that little few added seconds of setting it up can sometimes get in the way of the competition. And Iron Codes is going to join with us as well. And new guys, wonderful. I don't know these guys. So let's see what we get. And these competitions, if you're new to it, it depends on which one we get, how well of a chance we have. If we have golfing, and it's a hard problem, then we have a chance. And if it's an easy problem, then we can't get it small enough. Well, we're going to see what happens. When one more player, a full house is best for us because it gives me the best chance of not coming in second half. And not reverse engineering. I've not managed a reverse engineering one yet, though. I've only ever had one. They seem uncommon. If we get that, we'll see what happens. But I usually just do one to start the show. And, you know, if you get bored of this, you can go over to Ferris's show right away. Hopefully shortest. Yeah. There we go. We're waiting for a player who's not going to join, so we're out of that. 7 players. Let's see what we get. Shortest mode, we have to do it as fast as we can. And I immediately have a problem. A super long integer. It's not divisible by 4. Print AAAA otherwise. I don't know how to do a super long integer, so we're going to have to character parse them. Divide. Oh, there's some interesting sound in the background from somebody's phones. What I'm guessing is divisible by 4 means it's has to do with the last 4 characters. All divisible by 4 are going to end in anything which takes the last 3 characters. Maybe that's all we really need to do. I don't know how to trim it. Let last equal n. Oh man, how do I trim a string in Rust? Rust, last 3 characters. That's what I really want. I just want the last 3 characters. Last 2 characters is a good enough reference. So you can see I'm slowing down right now. And I don't want to reverse it. Oh wow, this is getting really annoying. Pop, 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 pop. Okay, let's see what it is. A equal n dot pop, let b equal n dot pop. We have an issue here if these don't actually have characters. I really don't know how to get the last 3 characters. Let mut val equal a dot unwrap. if b dot is sum val equals val times 10 plus b dot unwrap minus 0, now we're going to do this as I32, as I32. This is going to be really slow for me. I don't really have another way to do it in Rust. Val equals val times 10 plus b unwrap is I32. And what do we have to print? Okay or no? So we're going to say if val mod 4 equals 0, then we print line okay. Else we're going to print line I can spell this right. I'll just copy this. I don't know how many characters that is. Probably parsing errors. Unnecessary parentheses, that's fine. I don't care about that. Is sum... What do you mean? N, not is N, A or B. Getting really slow here. Well, we're not going to get first, that's for sure. JP check's got that. Can't read the stupid code. Cannot be applied to type character. Okay, that's the same one. So as I32 minus this as I32. Cannot borrow mutable equals mutable. We don't want it. Mut. Let's do that. Expected okay. So what value do we have? Let's print out the value of the first one. Print line. So right now we're not really going to be winning. We're just going to see if we can actually get this thing to work at all. And val. So we're going to do this. I don't know how to copy a string, so slowly going here. So let's print it up here. Print line n and put val down here. I'm pretty sure all multiples of 4 go into 100, so we just need the last 3. 1 gives us 49. Oh crap, we forgot to do that. Minus 0 as I32. That'd be helpful. 1 1 what's it? It's not divisible by 4. Okay, not divisible by 4. I read that wrong. So ion codes is done. Uh-oh. It's 902 divisible by 4. Uh-oh, I think I got a problem here. So, which one is 902? Is that not divisible by 4? So I made a logical error. How can I do that? 4, 250 is 1,000, 125. Well, let's just do one more. Maybe it's up to there. It's pretty awful. If I could do a loop, it'd be better. I just don't know. If my approach is wrong, I'm not going to have a chance to do it again. Oh, right here is the C unwrap. Well, that was really stupid of me. I had the wrong one unwrapping. So this is not divisible by 4. Okay, so my approach is wrong, actually. My approach is actually wrong. I'm going to actually have to decode. You can't parse it as an I32 though, because it has this range of numbers here. Will it actually work? But I mean, it can't parse that, because look at the constraint. I was assuming this constraint means I can't actually parse it. Or is the overflow just going to kill it? And that's still too small. That's too small for this number. Are you saying that actually worked in the other languages? Oh, well, that's not fair if that doesn't actually work. So let's comment this out. So if that's comment here, that would kind of make me annoyed. It might be because of the power of 2. So if we just simply take parse, let's just say I64 or U64. Does this actually work? That would bother me. Then I took the totally wrong approach. Now I need to have a standard. Does a standard parse probably? Come on, what's this parse again? Dot parse. No, I need to have n dot parse. Yeah, see? This is right here. It overflows. You guys, so you guys all got lucky in yours that yours don't overflow. Rust is going to overflow on me, and this is a problem because it's because I know it's a power 4 would have worked. That would have to be unsafe. Can I just do this whole thing unsafe and see if it doesn't overflow? No. What am I going to have to do? So it's divisible by 4. I actually don't know how I'm going to do this then. The other approach is I just keep doing through the loop and popping it, and as soon as I get something that's, yeah, I don't know. Well, that's what I thought, Everett, was the last 2 digits, and that's why I tried my popping. So my initial approach had that last 2 digits, and somehow it wasn't working, whether I made an error in Rust or not. So I took out 4, and then suddenly went up. I started with 2, then I went up to 4, and I'm not clear into why it's not working, because I thought that would work as well. But apparently it doesn't work. And oh crap, because I'm multiplying them in the wrong order. Shit, that's the problem. So I don't need D. I put them in the wrong order, so it would have worked, but I put them in the wrong order because my variable's in the wrong order. That was stupid of me. Val equals 0, I32. Okay, so yeah, so like so we need this B, and I actually screwed this up. I put these in the wrong order, and that really hurt me. I should have worked, so I was actually correct. If this still works, yeah. So I was actually correct the first time, but you don't need all the characters. I thought you needed 3 and not 2, but you might only need 2. And it's because I had this ABC in the wrong order that it didn't actually work. And do we actually have time to cut this down now? We don't need the print line. Get rid of this. And get rid of this. And we can do this in a loop. Let in 0.3. It doesn't make any difference here now. Let Q equal n.pop. Doesn't matter, U28 doesn't matter because I never get a high value here. So U1 to, oh, yeah. No, U28 is still not big enough for that number. So now I'm just battling to get this just something smaller. So we just pop off the last 3, get rid of this. No, that's a huge number. I highly doubt 128 is big enough for that. And, uh-oh, 4. Okay, so that actually all works again. And can we make this any bit smaller? Uh-oh, what happened here? I screwed something up. I'll explain that after in a bit, though. Q28, what did I screw up now? N.pop at some. I messed up my code. The first one doesn't work. 0. Val. Uh-oh. Guys, I screwed up my code. What did I do wrong? N.pop. Oh shit! Because I took those pops. Those have to go away too. Oh no! What am I doing? Why is it failing on me now? I'm gonna have to go back to the other code, but I don't have it anymore. What do we have? Now I'm running against the clock now. If I should just go back, I wanted to get a smaller code. I should have actually copied the code. And what is the actual value here? We just had those last 3 or 4. We popped them off. Value times 10 unwrap. Q is sum, end pop, end pop, end pop. Do we have to do 4? It doesn't make any sense. Oh no, no. That's bad, that's bad, that's bad. I'm going to go back to the code that actually works so we at least get a submission here. Which pop? That's not there. There's no pop here right now. No, I got rid of them. I got rid of them again. That was the first problem. Now they're actually gone. Now they're actually gone and it still fails. I just can't figure out what went wrong this time. It's printing out a big number and it fails. And why is it actually failing? What if I just pop more off? I have to go to 5 digits, but I didn't do it before. That's really weird. There's something wrong in my assumption then. Because I did not go to 5 before and it all passed. Can I make this even tinier in this time? We can't get rid of that top bit. We could do this, match n.pop sum q. I'm really cutting it short here. Then q as I32. Else we just do nothing. Let's see if I got that right. Oh no 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 no. What is that stupid thing? What did I do wrong? Okay, I can't get... I'm cutting it too short. I need to go back to slightly longer code and actually just get it working. That code should have worked, but I don't know what his problem is. The match, I'm not good enough with it yet. So we'll just submit something that works. An error occurred. Clash is completed and cannot be restarted. That doesn't look good. It just crashed in the middle of my code? Well, that wasn't very nice of it. Hey, that's not fair. Crashed while processing our code. So it makes no difference. Alright, so that doesn't make a big difference here. I had a way to make it shorter, but obviously we can't get it much shorter than that. You guys in your languages like Ruby. Now let's look at like what I encoded and published. But if you take a Jasper here, yeah. This thing here, either Ruby has a... There's two options. I don't actually know Ruby. Either it parses like super large values, which I doubt it, or they're taking advantage of the fact that their parsing algorithm, because this is base 32 or base 2 of any kind, that the multiple of 4 is not going to be modified when you get an overflow. So you just let it overflow and you'll get the same result. But since Rust catches the overflow, you can't actually do that in Rust. Rust says, hey, look, your number's too big. And I actually agree with that. That's the correct way to go. It just makes it a little bit harder to write such things. And I hope they weren't intending that, but... So that's a little bit weird. But in any case, let's just go on. And we got some points for it. Let's take a quick look at what the puzzle of the week is, in case it happens to be easy enough that we could do it fast. I get a stripe of paper, fold it in half again in the same direction, fold it the third time in half in the same direction, open it so that every fold is at a right angle. Viewing it from the left edge, you could see a pattern like this. No, 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 this is... I'm going to go back to our competition game instead. Okay, so we're going to go down to optimization, because we want to meet those bankers. The job ad is gone. There was a job ad up here. As I said before, there was a job ad here saying if you get less than 1, you're told a delta weight that you get to meet bankers in a job. So we're going to meet the senior bankers, even though we removed it. Now I want to show you something first. If we look at the leaderboard, it's interesting to the solution we're going to take. Not where I am on the leaderboard, but these next people here. If you look at their deltas, this is effectively 0 for us, and this gives us a very important clue in this game as to how we can optimize our algorithm. Because we know that 0 is basically possible, it gives us an option. What it means is that I'm going to open up the coding editor. It is running. No, come on, work. You want to work. You know you want to work. Ah, it's not working. Oh, I have to take off my proxy server. There we go. Yeah. Euler Schitzal. And if he's having problems, we're going to have problems, but we know we can't get there even if we have the perfect algorithm because debug is enabled, but I'm not looking for perfect. I'm just looking for something better than 530. 530 is pretty bad. So this is a really bad one here. And now we're going to jump back out to our editor and see what we can do. So we're going to take advantage of one thing. As I said, because they have a delta of 0, it means every truck basically can be filled to its average weight. So we don't necessarily have to compare trucks. So all we have to do is optimize each truck to be as close as possible to the average weight. So that's the first thing we're going to do, is calculate the average weight. And I have to refamiliarize myself with the code because I've forgotten how it works. And okay, so we have stats, 1003 input. So we actually had test files here. I forgot what they were. So let's see if there's. Let's see where we were from last time. Source/coding game. What did we actually have? We had clear and rust C. What is our the great dispatch? And cat tgd test 012.d great dispatch. Yeah, I think so. I'm not so concerned about that. Who was it last time? Showed us a way we can submit basically a binary if we really wanted to. And okay, so this is, I don't know what we're emitting here, but okay. Oh, we want that's a result. I wanted to emit and cat this to mort-ora-y debug equals 1. Okay, so our delta is 99 to that first one. It doesn't line up with the 530 because this is the total for all the trucks, and we just want the basic one. We have just one truck right now. But we're going to go here on this read input. Right after we do read input, where is read input? We're going to calculate the average of all of these, or total weight. What's the total weight? We're going to track the total weights. Yeah, I know it's forbidden contest. Well, I haven't done a contest. The next one hasn't started. And it sounds like too much work. As long as I get this working in a reasonable way, I'll just wait for them to enable debug optimization. We don't need to come first. We just need to get under 1 to meet the senior bankers. Remember, that's all we need to do is get less than 1. We don't have to get first. We just need a less than 1. And okay, we're going to make this an F64 and hope there's enough precision that we can do this. And the total weight then is total plus equals weight. And do we have a crates truck? We should actually read this directly into a state. Why did we not do a state on this again? That was really silly. Let's create a straight now, so we can actually do this mall, because we actually need a structure for this. And this why on earth did it do that? And I forget how to do straight. Yeah. So we're going to stick this all in a straight just so we don't, it's easier to do. Crates, vec crate, comma, I think, trucks, vec trucks. So we're going to do a bit of refactoring here first. And we're also going to have a average weight. And this is going to be an F64. Impl our state And we could probably debug this. No, there's no point in doing a debug in the state. We don't need to do that. And how do we create a new one of these? We need to create a new one of these by... Yeah, no, we don't need to do, we just need to do this. Yeah, state. And this will just be a state with a crates vec new, trucks vec new. It kind of bugs me that you can't just have a state that has a default impl, or was there a way to do that? Like some sort of default. I don't even know. Ah, there was a default. You can implement default. Will it work for vector? I think it will. Anybody remember how to do that? I don't have any traits in any of these. I think we can do this. We can do default. Default. We can use debug as well. So we shouldn't need the state. We shouldn't need the implementation. We have a default, and the default should create them all zeroed out, unless I copied the wrong thing. So we have a default, so we can just do here, read input is going to return a, let's make it return a state. It's going to return a state. Let mut state equal state, I think is how you do it. I forgot now. And we'll just read directly into these things. So right here we'll do state.creates.push. And the trucks we should probably input somewhere else. I'm not sure on this yet. But we'll make this do our whole state, and then we'll do state.average weight. We're going to need to know the number of trucks equals total divided by num trucks. This is probably going to have to be cast as F64. And then we have to return the state. So read input no longer takes crates, and it probably shouldn't take trucks. Where do we call this? Read input. Okay, so I'm going to put this up. Yeah. Okay. I did that all last episode as well. Whenever I had to type crate, I typed create. And I originally wanted to type box, but it was an internal type, so now we can't use default, of course. That's the other problem, because I have to actually do a implementation here. But state has a default, so we can still just do this, let mut s equals state. And for trucks, we can do s.trucks.push, and then we return s. And then state is state.new. Okay. So we have all those trucks. Return the state. We don't need to return the trucks at all. And this is more like a creation function, so really this should be part of the state that creates a state, but let's just call it read input for now. I don't know what the pattern is. Would this be actually a member of state if it reads from the input? Possibly. So we have this 8, we have this average rate, and we can move other stuff inside of there now. So the read input's down there, it's the interesting bits down at the end. And what do we do next? So we had let mut state equals read input. Get rid of these. And we can just do state.distrib creates now. Distrib creates, see, there I did it again. And distrib creates, distrib. And this has to go into the state implementation. Unless there's another way to do it, we can just stick it out of line. I don't know, maybe. And with self, so we can get rid of this and this and this and this. So this makes it simple. Simpler. Self.crates.clone. Alright, and what do we have? Traits, current crates equals and mut self.crates. Is this going to suddenly create, we'll see what happens here, self.crates, self.trucks, self.trucks, current truck.add crate. Okay, and check if we had compilations errors yet. What errors do I have? Unexpected token, line 143. Forgot that. Create swap, cannot find 61. What's wrong with that? Didn't touch that yet. 61. Oh yeah, we're gonna have to fix those as well. Swap and swap. So we might not. Well, we can actually just do it this way for now. State.crates and state.trucks, and then migrate it a little bit at a time. And as soon as I get this migration done, I'll tell you what the goal is there for each after that. I don't know why we have immutable 1 there. That's a bit weird. Didn't save it. And truck cannot be formatted. Why do I need to do that? 137. Well, let's just get rid of the debug for now because we're not actually going to be debugging the whole structure anyways. Oh, well, you did that here because we can't actually do a def... Wait. Shouldn't that work? Well, how do I use a default and an implementation? I want to use the defaults and use this. I don't know how to do that. Alright, I don't know how to do that, so let's just do it the slow way for now. And do how to use default here. And crates will just be vec new. Trucks will be vec new. And average weight will be 0. I just want to make sure this compiles. Good. So it still compiles, still the same answer, so I can finish off the refactoring distrib crates. And the reason I'm doing this is because we're going to call a lot of functions, and we had a lot of trouble with passing these immutables around, like the references, so we want to get rid of that now. We had a distrib clear truck, and we're going to copy this down, the swap, and the clear truck, and it should be simpler in terms of borrowing. I think we're lost to something somewhere, but okay, we'll add it back in. And I'm going to make this one font size smaller. I hope you guys can be okay with that. Is there a view to reduce font size? Because I need to see a little bit more on the screen. I hope you can still see it on the setting on the screen. If I just reduce it like this, I hope this is still big enough. Let me know if it's not. Terminal font size can probably be a bit smaller as well. If you're having problems seeing it on the stream, just let me know, but I hope this is still big enough. Then I can see a little bit more. It's just a little bit too little code. So this had this here. That's where the bracket was. So we're going to indent this. Now I'm not sure. I'm just going to migrate this swap, even though I don't intend on using it. And mut self. Self.trucks. I don't intend on using it because we're actually going to do it a different way. Nice truck and clear trucks is and mut self. So this actually should simplify it, I'm hoping. If this makes it, if we get the same errors again, it's going to be a problem of borrowing. Self.crates. Self.trucks. Because this clear truck concept was actually a pretty stupid idea. It's inefficient, and it's hard to get it working correctly. And self.swap, we're going to have to call state. I couldn't figure out how to remove the pop-up. I don't like it. Just state swap should take 0 parameters. And this is just clearly not the right way. But I just want to get it working again. So we have this code. It's in a working form. And what we're going to do now is actually implement it better. So this swapping is, we're just going to get rid of this clear-trucks. We don't need this. We're just going to call it state.swap. We just don't need that truck anymore. We're just going to do it 100 times. And where's the clear-truck? We're just going to get rid of this entirely. We just don't need this. Although because it has some syntax I want to use, I'm just going to comment it out. And this swap, we're going to change the way swap works entirely. We're not even going to sort it. We're just going to take two random trucks, and I suppose we should iterate. We should iterate over the things. So let's actually do a. Where is our state again? I lost my state function. There it is, state. Let's just say next truck is use size, and use size is 0. So we're just going to iterate through the trucks. Okay, and I started early, so I'm going to take a break a little bit later, but I'll be back as well. Let me see how far we get first. We can keep going, and then I'll take a break, and then just come back to it. And not use size, next truck. So for our new swap function, what we're going to do is we're going to take swap and remove itself. We don't need a bool anymore. Whoops. And we're going to have 2 trucks. And so we need a random function, and I've forgotten how to do random in Rust. Forgotten, we had it once more. Rust random. Rust rand. No, so this isn't helping. Create rand. But I think we had a problem in coding games with that once. There's no crate called rand. Crate standard. How do I get to the other crates? Rand. There we go. Alright, so I think we're there. Just give me a quick example using rand ring. Use rand ring. I can't make this global, so I'm going to have to stick this in the state, I guess. Yeah, that's... What else can I do for random then? Just not do random? So if we can't use an external, I don't want to submit a binder. I don't want to do that. So are you saying there's no... Well, let's just find a way where it doesn't work then. Lacking random. And we're just going to create a very stupid seed use size. Seed, whatever. Use size. And we're going to create a poor man's random function. Yeah, a very poor man. And I'll go grab the one for C after that each time. And what we're going to do is we're going to take the seed equals seed times... There's probably some ideal numbers for this. And this is going to overflow. So we'll just do this for now. Oh, now you're getting even more. So let's just do this. Mod num trucks. So we keep having seed value. This is going to be our next truck, right? So we have the next truck. Maybe we shouldn't do the seed that way. We should do the seed like that, and we say, let's compare truck index be seed mod max trucks, and let's, I just call prime truck index equal, what do I call it? Next truck. And then at the end we're going to do next truck equals next truck plus 1 mod max trucks. So the goal here is we're just going to walk through the various trucks, and then we're going to call swap trucks, and we can just give it 2 trucks and mut self.trucks. No, we can't do. We have to give it indexes again. Or do we? No, we should be able to do this. And what's... This was the whole idea of doing this truck index. And we want the prime truck. I really don't think it matters. Prime truck and mut self.trucks. Comp truck index. And then we have a function here called swap trucks and mut self, and we have a prime truck and it's a and mut truck. I just call them A and B. Truck A and truck B. And what we're going to do in swap trucks is we just want to compare these trucks if they have any swaps that make them get closer to the average weight. And this will just be a bunch of loops. Loops aren't my strong point in Rust, but... And I'm just going to make sure this index works first before I continue. We have too much at once. Seed, okay, so I forgot the seed is supposed to be self.seed. Do this self.seed. And it's quite possible our seed produces a stupid loop and it doesn't work, so we might be better off just doing +1. And we'll worry about that later, though. Or maybe not. Okay, we have, did you mean num trucks? I did. I did indeed mean num trucks. Okay, here we go. We have, yeah, I knew this would be a problem. I knew it immediately. This makes a lot of algorithms really difficult in Rust. That I'm already in the mutable thing. I can't pass the truck here. And I find it really silly because I can pass it the index though, and then immediately in the next function take a reference. Or let's mut truck A equal and mut self.trucks truck A index. Because so far this has always worked and it doesn't make any sense to me. I don't actually understand the borrowing why, if this actually works, and this has worked before, why I can pass the index and do the referencing here but I couldn't just pass the items themselves. It's something I just don't understand. And I forgot to press save. Oh, and it's the same thing here. Ugh, crap. I hate this. Oh, because I put the wrong name here. Truck index isn't a U size. Maybe that's the problem. And save it. Why? Why can't I do this? Come on. As much as people find this to be nice in Rust, I don't know. This type of thing, this makes it very unattractive to me as a programmer because I just want to take 2 references to a structure. And now I have to go hunting about as to how I actually get two references to the same structure. Yes, because I'm going to be modifying them. Or do I just do this? But I want to modify the trucks. Okay, so I'm going to have to modify the seed as well. Screw it. We're just going to do a seed be +3. Okay, so now it's worse, obviously. So that's our starting weight, 133. This is, you keep a note of this. This is our starting weight. I'm going to write it down, 133, because that's the actual worst. We haven't done anything. That's where we started from. And so what we want to do is, I don't know if this is going to work here because of this. They're not mutable. We want to look through those trucks, and we want to figure out, can we take a crate from one and stick it in the other? And we can start with just one crate. We want to take just one crate, and we want to see and actually what we should do up here is we should actually check, let's do a few trucks to make sure it's pointless, or swap trucks if it's pointless here. We can do this. We can say if self.trucks prime truck index.weight is less than self.trucks comp truck index. So we're going to make the prime one the heavy one. The prime one is always going to be the heavier one for us. And there's no point in swapping from two. We're going to swap from the heavier one to the small one. And this, I think this will make the algorithm just a little bit easier. And there must be a swap function in Rust. Let's see if we can do this. No, this has to be mut now. No, there's probably no swapping because I can't assign a mut again. I say comp truck index equals prime truck index equals Q. Now we do the same comparison again. No, that's not what it is. If we take the heavier one. So if the weight is greater than self.average, average weight, and the other truck is also greater than self-trucks at average weight, there's no point in swapping because I can't get anywhere close to the middle. So we have this one condition here. We might as well just return at this point because there's nothing to be done. There's just nothing to be done if they both above average weight because we can't get them closer to average weight. There's no way we can improve this. Only if one's above and one's below can we actually get the average closer to it. And so now we have the prime truck as the heavy truck. And so this is the heavy truck. We'll call it truck heavy, truck light. Truck heavy, truck light. And this is the part where we want to find out, we just want to test a whole bunch of swaps, which one would actually bring them both closer to the average weight. And this is all we have to do is just check each swap. And how do we want to check each swap? Well, we can do it this way. We can do, let's get the delta of them first. Let's get the delta weights of these first. Let's move it, actually the delta. So truck heavy dot weight minus self dot average weight. This is dot abs plus truck light dot weight minus. In my head, this all worked a lot quicker than this, and I am fighting a little bit with syntax. So we have the delta weight. Then we can do a horrible loop and just look for things that make it lighter. And we'll just do the first one that makes it lighter. For p and 0 dot truck heavy dot crates dot len. For q and 0. Well, let's just check moving one over. Move one crate over. And we'll calculate delta weight on this one. Delta nu is going to be very similar. Crate weight equals truck heavy dot crates P dot weight. So we're going to minus crate weight plus crate weight. Now normally in normal algebra, if you added and subtracted the same value, you'd get 0. But because we're subtracting this average here and calling the absolute, this shouldn't be the case. We should end up with different values. If delta nu is less than delta, then we can actually swap them. So now we have crates we actually want to swap between them. And we should actually make a swapping function. And to make this simpler, okay, and then we're just going to return after this too. So we want to swap between the two trucks. We're going to say truck heavy index, truck light index, self swap, and we want to give it crate P. Oh no, we don't want to swap. We actually just want to move it over because this is only moving one crate over. How did I do that again? We had to remove crate and add crate. So self.trucks truck heavy index, or actually no, we have truck heavy. Let's see if the mut actually works here. Let's see if we can actually mutify this. Remove crate index and mut. Move crate. Let. Let's put this crate. Let's crate equal. And mut truck heavy's the crate. And we want to remove crate P. And then in truck light, we're going to add crate and mut crate. We're going to add it. So all we can do is move things around. We're not actually swapping. We'll only move one direction. That won't be sufficient. And the moment we find one that makes it lighter, we move it over and we just keep shuffling it. We do it that way. And we check all the crates to see if that's possible. And if nothing happens, we just return. And now we just try for syntax errors, and I'm sure we have some. Found keyword crate 149, and let. That's why we did current crate dot weight. Okay, and the rest is probably broken here because of that. We have an average weight here somewhere too, 130. And we'll clean up any warnings we have too, because I'm getting tired of the warnings as well. 149 also has a crate in it. It's because I never actually saved it. I tend to do that because coding game you don't need to usually. And current crate. Truck A index 141 is actually truck heavy index. Truck light index. What else do we have? Self.seed 136. Kind of an annoying warning. I mean, to me, warnings should imply there should be something potentially wrong with your code. This one I don't like because it doesn't imply anything wrong with the code. There's no way that could be misinterpreted. There's no way I could actually be doing the wrong thing. Okay, 123. Weight. This comparison here isn't actually legitimate. Is it? If we move, this could actually, we don't actually need this. they can both be above the average weight and still have a swap that makes them closer. I don't know if our algorithm is going to catch that though, because it's the maximum delta we have. And I don't know if our algorithm is actually going to figure that out. So it's actually, this is correct. It's not absolute here. It's absolute dot max. We want the max delta. And that's why it makes a difference, max delta. So I'm going to say dot max. And that funny syntax. $150 errors we have. Current crate dot weight. Why is current crate a U size? This is confusing me. What the hell? How did it detect this to be a U size? Truck heavy dot crates. We'll just say truck heavy crate. What? Oh yeah, I forgot. Ah, man. This is an index. Ah, these stupid indexes again, because we couldn't actually do it in... So let current crate equal and self.crates. Cannot borrow is mutable. Of course we can't do that, because up here we had to have a mutt. But that's going to complain about cannot borrow mutably. Cannot borrow is mutable. Unused, let's get rid of the unused variable so it stops popping up. Okay. 150. Mutt. This is just mutts everywhere. Ah, come on. Somebody seriously has to tell me what the correct way of doing this is. I just don't understand it. I really don't understand. I have two trucks and I just want to reference them. There has to be a way to get a reference to two trucks here. And... how can we do this? How do we actually do this without like typing crappy code everywhere? Self dot... No, I don't want to type that. I want the actual code. There has to be a way to do it in Rust. I just don't know how to do this. Rust get mutable reference to two items in array in vector. In vec actually. That's exactly what I want. Split at mutt. Yeah, it's looking at now. I'm just trying to learn the syntax of this. Split at mutt. Now, this is interesting. There are uncountably many safe things to do that the compiler unfortunately does not recognize yet. Split at mutt is just like that, a safe abstraction implemented with an unsafe block internally. So there's actually no way to do this in Rust. So we're going to do a split at mutt. What does split mutt do, actually? Okay, so we're going to do that. We have to split it twice though. Where would I scope the mine? I'm already scoped. It's saying this line is wrong. I'm in the scope. There's no way I can scope them even more. And I'm just trying to see what was syntax. Let comma b equal self.trucks.split at mut. And we want the first index, truck heavy index, and let c comma d equal b dot split at mut. Yeah, but the ion codes that won't work because I need both of these trucks in this code down here. I need them both down there. And this is a split, so now I have to do truck light index minus truck heavy index. I hope this is the right one. And now I say let mut truck heavy equal and mut a dot last, I think. Let mut truck light equal and mut. This is going to be the c dot last as well. You seriously think that would work? I want to try the other solution first. So you're saying if I have a function like this, get truck and mut self index usize gives me an and mut truck and this is and mut self dot trucks index. So you're saying this should work. Is that what you're intending to say? If that works, I'd use that. I don't know why it'd work, though, to be honest. See, because it has the same borrow. But it still has a borrow error because it says I'm borrowing here again. So it still has two borrows and it still doesn't like it. Cannot use self.average weight because it was mutably borrowed. So that doesn't work either. So I'm going to go back to this approach and see if it compiles. We're going to split at mut and see if we can get that away with that. If you could look it up and get us a better syntax, that'd be great, because I find this split at mut, I actually find this horrible, and I can't imagine this just doesn't going to introduce errors on me if I start doing this to do multiple indexes. This is going to be a real pain. Unused variables, that's fine, I don't care about that one. Truck heavy is mutable. Why not? Why can't I borrow truck heavy is mutable? Now, why are these not mutable? Why are these not mutable? Oh, last mut Variable does not need to be mutable. Do that. We got a panic, of course. So let's put rust debug on, rust back trace. See where we got the panic. We're going to have to compile this with debug on. And it's swap trucks 149. Where does partition split? Before or after the split? 1. So this is actually b dot first. And this is going to be d dot first. First mutt, I assume. Yeah, I see that's an issue, but it's making it really difficult to just get multiple items from our list. So I don't need that one. Oh man, this is... Stupid Visual Studio is annoying me too. I absolutely hate look ahead for this reason. I turn it off in all editors because it just gets in the way of using the keyboard as well. So we just split B again. No, actually, let's go back to the way I had it. That was made more sense. And we're just going to split it one index past the end. Okay, and of course we're still in the wrong one, 148, so we're still something wrong here. And this is why I don't like this, because I have 2 indexes, and now I'm forced to try and figure out what is my... Where is my current one? I don't understand the own pattern. You'd have to give me more context than that. I don't know. I want to mutate their state. I'm not trying to actually replace the truck. I'm trying to mutate the state of the truck I already have. Okay, so I'm going to use this index. So that's going to be B. And I can do this, so this is going to be B dot first. Get rid of this. No, not crates. And so then we have a second split here. We don't care about that. We care about D. It's going to be B dot split at mutt. Light index minus that one, so that many steps forward. And it's going to be the first mutt again, because it's the first one in there. Did you mean B? No, I meant D. Okay, so you can't do that either. How can I do this then? How can I do this to get this working? So you can't split up mutt twice. First mutt unrun. Okay, so you have to actually create a new variable. Oh man. So we'll go back to this way. We'll split it one. We'll split it past the end of the index, and we'll split this first one. And that gives us, we're on board from 1, 1. So now we're going to split B minus the index of the first one. And so So it's a.last mutt, and 150 now. So this split here doesn't work. You know what? Screw it. I don't have the patience for this now. I'm just going to do it the horrible way. I find this absolutely silly, but I'm just going to do it the horrible way. Self.trucks truck heavy index. I absolutely don't think this is okay, but we don't have another option. I could spend all evening just looking at that code trying to wonder why. If you have an actual solution, let's see if it actually works. I'm going to finish this solution first. Yeah, but that solution won't work because I'm modifying the vectors and everything. Yeah, but I'd have to restructure my entire code around that, because what I have is I have this remove crate, and this remove crate function is the one that modifies the weight and the vectors. It does it all. So in this function here, I can't simply take the value of the weight. I absolutely need a mutable heavy truck at this point. So I'm just going to continue with the other way I have. Oops, where I have self trucks. And this is going to be lightweight. Lightweight index dot weight. So now I've not borrowed the trucks anywhere yet. And so now I can do it right here. And right here, truck light index. See if this actually works. Truck light index, truck light index. Yes, I did. Okay, so it's smaller, so we did some swapping. Now, if nobody has a better solution for this, we're going to have to look this up later, because what I've done here in terms of coding is absolutely awful. You shouldn't have to do this. The whole purpose of references and high-level object-oriented programming is so that you can take this, you can reference these things and make an alias and do this here. And since this code is safe here, it means doing this should be 100% safe as well, but it's something apparently Rust is not detecting. So unless we have somebody that can type the correct Rust way of doing this, we just have no idea. We were just stuck with this awful pattern here, and it's going to repeat a lot, and we're going to make mistakes because of it. And we just don't know how to do this. But this swapping actually reproduced a better option. Let me get rid of that last warning. We don't use get truck. Yes, I know that. And so we're actually producing at least, our algorithm is actually working. So we had 133, and it's down to 114. And well, we have over volume, so we have to watch that. We can't swap if the volume is going to be too big. And so how do we do that? Move one crate over. If delta is delta and self.trucks truck light index dot volume plus current crate dot volume. Actually, I'm going to make a variable here, like good volume equal plus current crate dot volume is less than max volume. So So we can't produce overweight trucks. And that actually improved it a lot, probably because it found better ones. So 105 is not bad. We had 103. We had 199 with the other crappy algorithm, but this one gets 105. So let's go down to main, wherever our main is. I've lost main. I'm going to put main back down at the end so we can find it. And let's give it, the other one had 10,000 swaps, so let's see if this actually gets us close to 10,000 swaps. No, it only gets us to 100. And what this is meaning is we're actually going to have to find a way to swap. Just moving one over is not going to be the optimal solution. I imagine I can put this number up to whatever I want, and it's not going to make a big difference anymore. We're going to get stuck at the 100. And that makes sense. We got rid of the easy options. So now we want to look for the swapping options. I think we get rid of all this stuff here because we don't need this anymore. I think we have all the syntax we need. So if we have this, now we're going to actually attempt to swap. And maybe we can combine these loops together. And we're going to have to copy all this stuff again. Oh man, I so much wish I had a solution to this. This is getting really shitty. So we check all the crates, and for each crate, and we're going to have the same thing here. We're not going to be able to borrow the crates twice again. So we're going to check all the crates in the other one. So prime crate, for light crate, and 0.self.trucks. Truck light index.crates.len. And we're going to do the same basic thing. And we're going to say the delta new self.trucks truck heavy index.weight minus, I'm going to put this in a new line so we can see it all. Self.trucks truck light index.weight. No, not self trucks weight minus self truck light index.crates crates l.weight. And I really apologize to the viewers watching this that so far we have no idea how to reduce this. Any attempt to actually borrow this and make aliases for this stuff is simply not working. Okay, so crate l.weight. We're going to remove that weight minus self.average weight. And when it's like this, I have no clear way to actually make these lines shorter. And so now we have the same on the other one, self-trucks truck light index.weight minus self.trucks truck heavy index.crate p.weight minus self.average weight. Okay, and that does the max. And the overweight, let good volume equals self.trucks truck light. So it trucks light index volume plus self.trucks truck heavy index.crate p.volume is less than max volume, and there's supposed to be a bracket at the end. Self.trucks. Alright, this other thing has to go too. Settings, autocomplete. There is no autocomplete. Complete. Editor. Quick suggestions. I'll check your selection average once I'm done this bit. I'm not just going to ignore it. Quick suggestions. Well, let's do this then. Editor.quick suggestions delay milliseconds. 10 milliseconds, no. Let's actually give it 2 seconds. So if I'm pausing for thought, we can still get the suggestions, otherwise you're just getting in my way. Truck heavy index dot volume plus self dot trucks truck light index dot create L dot volume is less than max volume. Okay, and then we say if delta new is less than delta and good volume, and we're just going to save it there and take it to see if the code from Everest is going to work, because this is getting really hard. Incorrect close delimiter self trucks line trucks. Okay, let's just comment this whole bit out. Let's comment this whole bit out first and try for the other solution, because this is getting too long to type. So what Everest provides is okay. So what we have is we're going to do the splitting approach. So we have split. So we split it. The normal way is let's copy his exact code. So we have 2 indexes. I have already 2 indexes. I have 2 indexes already. And so let A equals array split at mutable. And we have that +1, so that's what I have so far. And last mut equals mass mut unwrap, that's good. And then in the second one, we don't do a split, we do a truck heavy. And we do and mut B. Truck light index minus truck heavy index minus 1, because we're offset by 1. Ah! Now let's just compile and see. This code, not yet. I've meant to push it on GitHub, but I haven't actually pushed it yet. Let me compile this first. Oops. $129. Okay, so now we have to use the borrowed version. So delta is truck heavy. I can put it on GitHub a bit later. Let me actually just try and fix this first before, so I don't get interrupted, and then I can throw it on GitHub if you want. Self.average weight, and then we have truck light.weight. Truck heavy dot crates. Truck heavy dot weight. Truck light dot weight. Truck light dot volume. Truck heavy dot remove. Truck light dot add crate. Okay, one more left to do. Truck heavy. Panic at line 131. Something's wrong here. We've got our indexing still wrong somehow. It allows us to borrow it, but we have the wrong index. Why is that? Why do we have the wrong index? println truck heavy index, truck light index. Let me figure out the indexes first, iron codes, and then I'll take a look. Okay, what indexes do we actually have? 9 and... Oh, yeah, The second index can be lower than the first one. And so now it actually makes it more complicated. So I mean, Everest, that would work if we had them in order, but now my indexes may not be in order. Yeah, but ironcodes, the problem with this is I'm not trying to borrow a field, I'm trying to borrow the whole structure. Because when we just tried this, it completely nattered at us as well. And so this is this lifetime, oh god. I should borrow a structure as a whole. It makes no sense not to. But we can put these lifetime things on. What is tilde A? Fine, so let's go back to this approach. And we're going to stick a lifetime in here. Not that I know what a lifetime is. Undeclared lifetime. I don't know what lifetime is. Where... Well, we're going to find out. Where... self. Unexpected token. Okay, I don't understand the syntax. Yeah, that would be my same question, Matriva. I don't understand why I just can't borrow the whole structure. It's a very, very common strategy in object-oriented programming. Oh, come on. Yeah, I'm just looking for any solution that works now, and this lifetime stuff is getting annoying too. How can I actually do this? How can I actually do this? Yeah, I'm pretty close. I'm pretty close to taking my break and coming back. I said I'd take my break, and I'm going to take my break right away here, I think. Because I just can't get this working. Unless somebody can tell me how to do this. I need to borrow two structures. It's very simple. I have the index of two items in a vector, and I just want to borrow two of them. And if somebody can just tell me the syntax for it. I mean, so far, Everest has come the closest. This only works if truck heavy index is less than truck light index, and obviously that's not sufficient. We really want to split the other way as well. I just need a way to do this. I need a way to do this work, but I need it also for work if truck heavy index is less than it. I want to borrow the whole tree. That's exactly what I want to do. That's the whole intent here, is I want to borrow the tree. I want to borrow the whole structure. Matriva, no, I can't copy it. It's absolutely not what I want to do because the copy would have vectors in it. And the reason why we can't copy is because if I have to copy the truck, these trucks have a list of crates in them. So if you look at the truck, it has this crate. And so we can't copy this. It's going to be way too expensive. We need to actually take a reference to it and modify that truck as we swap things around. And so I'm trying to think what's the easiest thing we can do here that we can I don't know how to do the split here. Like, what if I had to take 3 references? Oh god. So this works provided truck heavy index is less than truck height index, but if that's not the case, how can we do that? We can't put an if statement because then the blocks are going to be wrong. I need the other field as well. As you can see, I use the crates and the weight. So I use the weight as well and the crates. What else is in the truck? And I use the index. And I use the volume. I use every single field in that truck. There's not a single field I don't use. Matriva, I could, but it's still the crates. I still have to be able to add and remove from the crates somehow. And but I like what Avers had here. Is that there must be some solution that comes close because we have it working, but only if the index is in one order. Is there some way we can do that regardless of which order the indexes are in? Well, let's just yeah, Avers, that's one thing now is that the one issue with swapping index is that this algorithm right here is depending on copying from the heavy truck to the lighter truck. So for Everest, that's the reason why if I swap the indexes, basically this whole code is just not going to do the right thing because it's always going to fail. It's never going to have the heavier crate to move to the lighter one. So it kind of considers. And I can't stick. I'm sure if I stick these in a vector and swap them, the problem is just going to get worse because I have even more borrowing to deal with. How can I do this? Okay. You know, I have a way I can do this. I know how to do this. There's an option here. What I can do is let's make a function that finds the indexes, because that won't need to mutate them. Let's copy all this nonsense first. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a function that finds the indexes, finds swap, and it doesn't take a mutable self. It takes 2 indexes. And it's going to return an option of usize, comma, usize. So if I find an index to swap, it's going to find the 2. And so these don't have to be mutable. And it seems to be totally happy with non-mutable borrowing. So we get rid of this. And right here we can say if there's a good volume, we're going to return sum. And this has to be a little tuple. Sum p. What do they want to return here? Oh yeah, just sum p. This is a fine swap. This is sum p. And we can return none here instead. There's none like that. So for swap trucks, we can do this the other way. Let's just comment this other code out again. Should be fine. Oh, does Ruston support embedded quotes? Oh, wonderful. So now this one just gets our indexes. So we do it this way. So we're going to say match find swap self.find swaps self.find swap truck heavy index truck light index sum p, and then we can do something here. Otherwise we just do nothing. And this is where we're going to do self.trucks truck heavy index. We're going to let the crate, let mut current crate equal, and mut self.crates self.trucks truck heavy index, because the crates are indexes. Okay, and dot remove crate index and mut current crate, comma, wait, I needed the index. No, I did p. P is where it is. Just removing it from p. And self.trucks truck light index dot add crate and mut current crate. See if this actually does it. Unexpected close delimiter. Okay, I'm closing something somewhere at 204. Fine, go away. Unexpected token, 156. 156, let's do this. So we'll trait in mux mult. Index mux truck is okay. Dot crates p. Yeah, just let me. I just want to focus on this first. I think the solution will work. Cannot borrow a mutable field at current crate. Now what's the problem? Cannot borrow Trevi is mutable. Oh no, this is what I meant to get rid of. This is what I get rid of here. Find swap. Yeah, so this doesn't have to be mutable here. Proportional fonts are wonderful. There's so much pretty. Okay, hey guys, that worked. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm splitting this off. So the find swap, the thing that does all the actual work, it returns indexes and doesn't actually modify anything. So we modify stuff down here. And then we'll return when we found it. So now we have that. And I've been programming proportional fonts about way too long now, over 10 years, and I'll never go back. I find it so much more pleasant to look at nice fonts. And since I have serifs and stuff, the serifs make it delightful. I don't have any problems with distinguishing an L and a 1 and an uppercase L and I. These all look very distinctive. See, look at this, 1 L, I, all very distinctive. No problem to see whatsoever. And I can post emoji in here and have them looking nice, all sorts of foreign languages. It's just, trust me, it's just much nicer. It's the way of the future. And whether it's a sign of a serial killer, I don't know. You'll have to wait to find out on that one. Okay. And so, okay, so this looked like it made sense. We find the swap, and if we find out return, now we're going to do the next swap. And the next swap was the next algorithm I wanted to do. So and actually this one is called find move. Did we find a move? If we found a move, then we do a move. So this is find move. And this avoids the swapping. Now we're going to do a find swap. And this is going to be an option of useSize, comma useSize. Yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily agree with having to restructure my algorithm to get around the problem. And because logically, this splitting out I'm doing right now, it's doing the exact same thing. And there should be a safe way to do it, but let's just move on for now. Find swap. Because one of the issues one of the issues I have with this complication of borrowing is because I've done several of the speedy algorithms. You guys are doing emulators as well. When I did like the financial stuff and the low-level algorithms, the fast part of it absolutely requires that you can like basically borrow references along and stuff. But that's the place where all the data races was. But if I have to lose that structure to save data races, I've actually gained nothing. Because if I can't do that ultra-tight code, well then it's pointless. I don't need to save a data race if it's not fast enough. And so I'm still struggling to figure out the value of this borrowing system, because the only case where I really have a problem with data races is when I'm trying to heavily optimize code, and that's the case where this looks like it's going to have the most trouble. Okay, but moving on, I'm going to find a swap, and I had swapping code here. And we're going to grab these out again. Should I put your reading pointer right? Yeah, but if I just revert to pointers, then why do I need Rust? Well, I'm waiting for some. I actually understand the reason why they don't allow multiple borrows, and it has to do with aliasing and data races. This is the key thing, because if you allow multiple borrows, is what you've done is you've aliased the variable. And that means there's multiple ways you can look at it, and when you pass these things around, it has no idea to know if they aliased or not, and that screws with optimizations. It screws with... It shouldn't cause data races. It only causes data races if there's actual parallelism involved. On a single thread, it shouldn't cause a data race, but it can mess with a lot of optimizations because you have the same name referring to two. It's something C couldn't prevent, something C++ couldn't prevent, something basically nothing else can prevent, and there are good reasons to avoid it. But yeah, no, there can't be a data race on thread. Let me think of this thread, launch single thread. No, there can't be a data race because a data race actually requires concurrent parallel access to the same data. A single thread on the CPU can never create a data race. That is, even if you had concurrent threads on the same core, you won't even get a data race then at the CPU level. At the code level, definitely. At the code level, you can actually have the situation where the compiler has optimized wrong and you don't get a consistent view. And that could, I guess they still call it data race. I'm not sure on that. I think so. Because it's not properly ordered. So even if you have two threads on the same core, at the high level you can, at the core level you can't. But we're not dealing with multiple threads, and I haven't seen threads at all yet. And because I'm borrowing multiple lines of one thread, I'm still not sure. There are reasons to avoid multiple. Aliasing is still a problem for compilers. It just hurts their optimization, but again, if I can't do the algorithm I want, then it doesn't help me anyways. So I'm still waiting on the correct reason for this. I'm not going to bug the Rust hardcore guys too much until I actually fully understand the borrowing myself. Otherwise, I just risk pissing them off. They can just listen to my commentary here and get pissed off. Thanks, Iron Codes. Thanks for the motivation that the Rust threads are going to give me Ebola in thousands. Yes, it's called aliasing. In C, when you have two pointers to the same thing, it's called aliasing. And it's harder to see at this level, but if I can write some quick C code, so if you have some variable, if you do like integer pointer to A equals and B, and then integer pointer to C equals and B, you've now aliased this. You actually now have three things referring to the same value in memory. Now consider if you call the function like memcopy, or actually if you do this AB, if you had a copy like A comma C and you call it 100, this is the type of crap that memcopy has to deal with, is that, well, these are the same values in memory. And if these are overlapping memories, there's all sorts of things that happen here when you have aliased things, that memcopy has to be super conservative in what it does, because it can't detect this aliasing, that there's faster ways to copy if they're not aliased, if they're not overlapping. And if you look that up, you can see a lot of things about that that will cause trouble and why you want to avoid it. I don't know if we'll get them here. We're not calling that. And the same logical thing can happen with collections if you pass collections around, but we're avoiding that right now. So we have a self-truck heavy links. Now we want to do the swapping one. We have back to the code at hand. And actually, you know, with that, I'm going to take a 5-minute break and then come back to this find swap, because we've got the messy stuff working. So I'm going to take a quick 5-minute break and I'll be right back. I just have to go get some power food. I'm just going to switch the stream on and off so I have 2 splits in it. Don't worry about that, but I'll just be right back then.